I feel really sad this morning as I do my normal challenge and my, charge to a lot of people because the poor are suffering, and it's something we should not look away from. With all of these economic reforms, which yes, a lot of people might have supported, but the poor are really suffering. I heard the story yesterday of how a small business owner said he can't simply continue with the cost of doing business because of the hardship and all of that, and he had to let some members of staff go. The truth has to be said. The reforms, yes, are good for the economy, but you see, in the end, most of these reforms will only favor the rich. And the sad reality is the fact that we think trickle-down economics is going to work, that once the rich gets richer, it's going to affect the poor positively. Truth has to be said, the poor keep suffering. How many more people have been let go of work or cannot come to the office again since subsidy removal and the fuel price went up? Do you want to know how many people? Do you want to know the impact on the lives of those people? Do you want to know the suffering they're going through? Do you want to know the pain and the hardship they're going through? And that's why, please, I'd like to tell the authorities that this other 2 months wait for palliative won't cut it. This other 2 months wait that we want to wait for Labour and the government to decide palliatives won't cut it. The danger of a single story is that the poor that is suffering, nobody ever reports their own side of the story. You know why? Because they might not simply have access to the big media. But we meet them every day in our lives. We see their suffering. We hear their story, like the story of the small business owner I heard that really baffled me. We hear the story of how when costs go up, things get worse off for them. I want the government to quickly put that palliative on the ground because the poor are suffering. And we need to cushion the effect of this suffering on a lot of people. And on top of this, there's still considerations. Please do not get me wrong. I didn't say government are approved. They have not approved increments in salary because Ramfak has come to debunk it. But there are considerations to bump up the pay because the last time they bump up government official pay was 2007. The poor are suffering. The poor are suffering. And as the poor are suffering, the sad is that the rich is getting richer. The sad reality is that the rich is getting richer. So let's be careful. Let's be careful. We must think of the poor amongst us. We must think of the have-nots amongst us. Because there will always be have-nots amongst us. And what makes a society great is how we can think of the weak, not the strong. Life is not only about for the strong, it's also about for the weak. The poor are suffering. Bless you all.